Hello and a warm welcome to a not so warm Meadow Lane, home of course of Notts County, for this week's Vanarama National League highlights show. Now, a mixture of the cold weather and COVID issues meant 3 games couldn't be played this weekend. Those fixtures at Maidenhead, at Grimsby and at Eastleigh, all unable to go ahead, but plenty of action for you over the next half an hour or so, starting with one of the games of the weekend, Wrexham against Bromley. Richard Newman has the details.
Wrexham went into their game with Bromley unbeaten in 5 league matches. A 6th would be their best run of the season, and they got a huge boost when Liam Trotter was sent off for the visitors after just 8 minutes for a challenge on Daniel Jarvis, who wasn't able to continue. That was the earliest red card in the National League this campaign, and the hosts took full advantage, albeit in fortunate circumstances. Reece Hall-Johnson opening the scoring with a cross-come shot after the half-hour mark, which went straight in at the far post. Cue discussions about whether he really meant it. Wrexham had not scored more than once at home all season, so fans may have felt on edge, but the informed Paul Mullin settled the nerves. Wrexham remain unbeaten at home, but Bromley boss Andy Woodman felt hard done by.
The ref is really quick to just get a red out and not assess it, and I don't think it was a bad challenge. You know, I think it was just a bad touch. He certainly didn't go over the top. We were stretching for it.
The crowd understood what we were trying to do, which, you know, against 10 men, you've got to be patient and work the ball and tire them out with the ball, and that's what we did. And if you do that, the opportunities come.
Halifax lost to Wrexham last time out and were looking to get their promotion challenge back on track at Torquay. After an open start to the game, Jordan Slew put Pete Wild's side ahead, his 2nd goal in as many matches. Halifax were ruthless immediately after the break, Slew getting his 2nd almost from the kickoff, the first time in his entire career that he scored twice in a single league game. Shortly after that, top scorer Billy Waters came back to haunt Torquay boss Gary Johnson, who he worked with at Cheltenham, converting from a tight angle for his 11th goal of the season and the 50th league goal of his career. It looked like Halifax would easily see out the match, but the hosts continued to put pressure on, and Kalaidi Lolos pulled a goal back with 2 minutes remaining, surely just a consolation. But Torquay set up a nervous finish for the visitors. In the 90th minute, Armani Little stole the ball inside his own half, and with Little in front of him, had a go himself with great success. Too late though, Torquay losing 3 in a row for the first time this season, but Wild's Halifax are up to 3rd in the table.
Yes, an excellent win for Halifax. Now you can see that Aaron McLean and Scott Doe have been brave enough to brave the weather with me for the highlights here at Notts County. And we'll start perhaps with that Wrexham-Bromley game, Scott, and that early red card, which is clearly a pivotal moment in the game. Andy Woodman thought the referee could have given him a couple more seconds, but what do you think? Is it a rash challenge from Liam Trotter?
I think so. I think from what you see, it looks like a red. Obviously, the follow-through with the other leg doesn't look great, and after 8 minutes, all what the manager says before goes out the window, and you're on the back foot straight away.
The bad touch kind of creates the bad challenge, doesn't it?
Exactly. He's chasing it. He's half chasing it because of his touch, and then obviously he's followed through and the rest made his decision. But for me, I think it is probably a red.
Yeah. Obviously it changes the game and gives Bromley massive problems, and that's probably in Andy Woodman's thoughts. But has he got a case, or has the player got a case?
I think when you're lunging like that, you always run the risk. You know, we know what football's like now. You can't make tackles like that. As soon as you lunge in and you're out of control, you give the referee a decision to make, and unfortunately for them, it was a red today. And
then I imagine it feels like insult to injury because Reece Hall-Johnson's, I want to say, cross that ends up in the goal. I imagine it's a cross that's found the far corner. Or has he meant this by chance?
I think that's definitely a cross. I don't think. Listen, I'd try and claim that. If I'm putting the ball in and it ends up in the back of the net, I'd be trying to claim it. But yeah, it's just a ball into the danger area, and a bad one ends up a very good one.
Yeah. Now listen, we obviously talk about teams like Wrexham and Stockport, Notts County, as we will later, but Halifax, they kind of go under the radar a lot, but when they're good, they're very good. And 3 up at Torquay today with 2 from Jordan Slew. 2nd is a peach.
It's a great finish. I think they like being the underdogs, you know, not people talking about them, and they're always there or about, staying in that playoff area. And obviously Jordan Slew got 2 today. This is a fantastic strike. and obviously they managed to hang on to the 3 points.
Yeah, you're always telling us about your great strikes, Macca. You'd like that one, wouldn't you?
Oh, I'd love one like that. I think I've actually got a few like that. We might have to look in the archives for a couple.
We've looked. I'm sick of looking. Torquay, though, strange season for them. They've kind of stuttered, picked up a bit of pace, dropped off again. That's another odd defeat at home.
Yeah, it is, and again, it's consistency at this level. They didn't start the season well, which, you know, they was always on the back foot, but all of a sudden they started to get a bit of momentum, and this is a bit of a blow for them, but they're up against a Halifax team that are in good form, and they've got goal scorers.
They do, that's for sure. Yeah, absolutely, including Billy Waters, of course, played at Torquay under Gary Johnson previously. Now, we'll come back to the top of the table, but let's turn our attention now to the very bottom of the table. Aldershot, for instance, the team that are just starting to find a little bit of form and results, and Southend, we saw them obviously slip up again at Grimsby a little over a week ago. Could they go better at Altrincham? Here's Michael McCann.
Southend came into this one without an away league goal in 7.5 hours since mid-September, but had one inside a minute here. Top scorer Rhys Murphy with his 6th of the season. Murphy nearly had a second of the game soon afterwards, but could only head just wide. The struggling Shrimpers would have their second before the half-time break though, a clever training ground free kick routine leading to Sam Dalby's 4th of the campaign. Just after the hour, Altrincham had a lifeline when Nathan Ferguson handled in the box, but Steve Arnold was to make one of the best penalty saves you'll see all season to deny Ryan Coldclough. Soon afterwards, the Robins did get one back though, Dan Mooney moving his goal tally onto 5 in fine style. Southend would hold on though to secure a first away win in their last 8 games. Second bottom met fourth bottom as Kings Lynn played Aldershot, who almost went in front through Tommy Willard. The Linnets hadn't kept a clean sheet in 22 league games, and 10 minutes from time that became 23 as Alfie Whittingham repeated his trick from 2 weeks ago against Grimsby. 3 wins in a row for the Shots, 8 straight defeats for Lynn.
I think when you come away from home with the conditions, you're trying to get to grips with it. I think they had a little bit more of a headwind in the first half, which can put you on the back foot a little bit more. But I felt that we still worked hard. Our distances got wrong a little bit, so we just adjusted a few things at half time, got on the front foot a little bit more, and asked a few more questions second half. I think the win probably helped it a little bit.
When the Stover travelled to inform Yeovil, seeking to avoid a 10th straight league defeat, and the Whites led in just the second minute here, thanks to a fine solo goal from TJ Bramble, his first of the season. Yeovil were almost level when a fizzing free kick from Dale Gorman needed a good save from Josh Bexon. The home side came close again when a corner led to a proper game of penalty box pinball, with both Junior Tientia and Alfie Pavey clearing off the line. Dover nearly went 2-0 up to all but seal that elusive First League win since January, but Aaron Cosgrave was ultimately denied by keeper Grant Smith. Yeovil equalised late on, Adi Youssef heading in Jordan Barnett's cross for his 3rd goal in 5 across all competitions. The Glovers are now unbeaten in 6, the Whites get a 4th draw this season, moving to -8.
Well, we'll pick up on that point for Dover at Yeovil. For all that it obviously is part of Darren Saul's recovery, it's probably not worth much to Dover, I guess, in the scheme of things. But Southend, first and foremost, that's a massive win. After we saw them at Grimsby and they thought, Kevin Mayer, where's the win coming from? They've got one at Altrincham.
It's a huge win for them. And listen, after the Grimsby defeat, you look and you think, right, where are we going to get the points from? Teams above us are starting to pick up points. We need to get going, and this 3 points will be a huge boost for Kevin Mayer and Rhys Murphy on the score sheet again.
Exactly, Murphy then Dolby in the first half, and it's not an easy place to go and get all 3, that.
No, very good at home, Altrincham, very good side. But like you said, they didn't get down after the Grimsby game, not having things going for them. Come back out and get a very good win for Kevin Mayer. Be very happy.
What about Aldershot? 3 wins on the spin for Mark Molesley. He has turned a big corner.
He really has. Like we said, after we covered them on the Barnet game, I thought they looked very deflated. and to beat Grimsby and then 3 wins in a row in this league from any side is very good in tough conditions, and they've ground out another win late on.
Yeah, took a boy, Joe Gubbins from QPR just yesterday, I gather, Mark Moulsley, and apparently he was terrific today. Shows just sometimes a little something, one player can't half make a difference.
Most definitely, and they're looking for that spark. You know, they're a team that they've not had the greatest of starts, by any stretch of the imagination, but the fans have always stayed with them. You know, it's a really, really good club. The fans have stayed with them, and now all of a sudden they're starting to get a bit of momentum. And, you know, if that continues, you never know where they could end up.
Yeah, no, you never know, but it's an excellent 9 points from 3 games for Aldershot. OK, we'll break briefly, but we're back with more from Meadow Lane. Notts County up against Dagenham and Redbridge. 2 teams definitely smelling the prospects of promotion, a playoff place within reach for either. 3 points on the table. That's next. Welcome back to the National League highlights, and our next roundup is right here at Meadow Lane, a meeting between Notts County and Dagenham and Redbridge. Dagenham and Redbridge under Daryl McMahon just falling a little bit short of late, certainly in results terms, with injuries piling up. Notts County trying to make Meadow Lane the fortress that it needs to be for Ian Birchnell and co. Watching for us, as usual, Adam Virgo and Adam Summerson.
Notts players on the edge of the box. Francis stayed back and Justin got well down to his right-hand side.
Well, there's something we know that Ruben Rodriguez can certainly pull out the bag. A free kick from that distance going into the back of the net.
Balanta. Robinson decided to hit it! It's well worth the effort, that too.
The strike leaves his foot, and for that one split second, you think that's going to nestle into the back of the net.
Villette. Oh, Rance will take this on, and Villette! Great save by Slocum.
But I just wonder, when Villette goes through, he kind of goes to the left-hand side of the goal. Open your body out and go to the right-hand side.
Loves to skip inside like this, Miles Weston. Forces the save from Slocum again. They're really on top for the moment here, the Daggers. Balanta, another shot for Slocum to save.
They are now testing Sam Slocum.
Matty Palmer to take the corner. And the header is in! It's Vincent claiming it!
Well, for me, this is Dagenham and Redbridge in a nutshell defensively. Heads it across. I say Vincent was just aware there to direct that ball towards goal.
That's a great ball and an equaliser. It's the captain, Angelo Balanta.
Vincent gets caught underneath it. Balanta reads the ball really, really well.
Brindley got the return and now looks to hit the byline and pulled it back for Rodriguez.
By his standards, that should be hitting the back of the net.
Will Wright then to take this. Another good delivery, and Reynolds.
It's a brilliant attacking ball.
Rodriguez. Roberts with Vincent in the box. Rodriguez! What a chance.
He's got no one around him. He can even bring that down if he wants to. Decides to go with the head and just gets that awfully wrong.
Roberts. Early crossing this time. Brilliant ball! Fantastic header! Carl Wootton for Notts County. He hits double figures for the season.
We talk about quality of players in this final third in the National League, and these two are right up there. And Carl Wootton knows exactly where this ball is going.
Right with the throw-in, flicked on. And Saunders! Great save there by Slocum. I was really travelling that from George Saunders. Big save at a big moment.
That's a good save there from Sam Slocum. It's an equally decent shot though from Saunders on the edge of the boxes. He sets himself nicely.
Saunders, check of the watch, and there's the final whistle. A big cheer for a big 3 points for Ian Birchnell's Notts County.
Look, we have to talk about the injuries because when it rains, it pours. I mean, let's start Paul McCullum. What's happened there?
He's pulled his calf. His calf popped in the first half.
And then Mo Sagaf as well?
Ankle injury, but he's been playing with it, Mo, to be honest. He's been taking painkillers to play, so it's just a bit too sore for him by the end of the game tonight.
Do you worry about the striker situation in terms of what do you do now?
We've got to be inventive with what we've got in the squad. We've got to try and play different people up there. We've done it already this season. We've got to try and find solutions. I still think we've put on, like I said, we've put on a decent performance here tonight, regardless of all the injuries, and we're going to have to patch some people up probably for next week against Grimsby.
And is that your message to the dressing room right now, that you are actually putting in the performances? All right, the results aren't quite going in your favour, but is that your main message now, to keep your heads high? Yeah,
we don't need major surgery. I think if you look at our performance tonight, we've lost the game by 1 goal, and we had chanced ourselves to go ahead. It's just keeping believing in what we're doing. We know we're going through a tough time in terms of results, in terms of injuries, but we've got to stick together and get through it.
Darragh, thank you.
Cheers, thank you.
Well, you get, fellas, why he doesn't want to make the injuries an excuse. And actually, they weren't bad by any stretch. And it perhaps was a game that could have gone either way, but it's the way it's going at the moment for them, and indeed for Notts County, perhaps.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's one of those periods that you go through as a player, as a manager, where when things aren't going right, all of a sudden everything goes wrong. And injury-wise, things aren't going well for them. They're losing players regularly now. And in terms of results, they're controlling games. You know, previous games, they've been controlling them, not converting their chances, and they got punished for that.
2 first-half goals, 2 headers. You could pick holes defensively, but they're both well worked.
Yeah, as we say, set pieces are massive at this level, and I think this is very well worked. Obviously, he comes around the back very late. A bit of a mismatch with Mauro marking him, and obviously it's a well-worked routine and a good header.
Yeah, Jack Vincent on the spot with the little tuck away, and then Balanta, who else? But goalkeeper, perhaps?
Yeah, the goalkeeper, he probably shouldn't come out for that, but Darryl had spoken after the last game about his players getting across the near post, across the keeper. Balanta's done that, and he's got his results for it.
Yeah, Notts County were knocking on the door, particularly Ruben Rodriguez, before Wootton gets the winner.
Yeah, obviously he'll be very disappointed with these 2 chances. I mean, the first one should at least hit the target, but probably should score, and the second one should definitely be scoring. And obviously they were knocking on the door, but obviously got their one late on. Yeah, here's the 2 chances. This one on the pullback. Just gets perhaps a touch underneath it, doesn't he? Defender puts him off, maybe. Yeah, leans back a little bit, I think, as well. This one, it's a gimme, isn't it?
This is a gimme. This is, with the form that he's been in, you expect the back of the net to ripple, and he'll be very disappointed that he doesn't.
Yeah, there's the winner. Lovely ball in from Roberts, and Wootton
That's
delivers.
Just great. For me, that's just brilliant movement. That is your number 9. He makes sure that he pulls off the shoulder of the defender, and then as soon as Roberts is ready to deliver, gets across the front of him, gets his header on target, and gets the winner.
They'll want him tied down to a new contract ASAP, won't they? Carl Wootton, I think.
I think so. 8 this season in the league. Definitely, they want to get him staying here. But you know, he was quite quiet tonight, and then goes and scores, and that's what the good strikers do.
Still needed a good late save from Slocum, didn't it, to deny Saunders, who'd come on as a sub?
Yeah, listen, it's a great strike from Saunders. You know, he does everything right. He hits it with power, hits it true, and it's going in the corner, but Slocum's equal to it. And those are the moments that you need your goalkeeper to come up with big saves. All the top teams have good goalkeepers, and today he pulls out an absolute worldie and gets the 3 points for his team tonight.
Yeah, came quick. So a good 3 points for Notts County here. 2 more games to round up in the highlights, starting with 2 teams in good form. Wealdstone, very good of late, against the Stockport County, starting to run pretty hot under Dave Challoner. Here's Jake Watson.
Things have been going well at Stockport since Dave Challoner took over. 5-0 winners in midweek over Kings Lynn. And it didn't take long for them to take the lead this afternoon. Scott Quigley squeezing his shot past the goalkeeper to put the visitors in front. That's his 6th in 7 games. And he very nearly doubled his tally for the day in the second half. The cross just behind him. Ryan Rydell keeping it alive. Ollie Crankshaw on hand to divert it into the back of the net. Stockport in full control against an informed Wealdstone side, and the visitors very quickly made it 3-0. Crankshaw all alone to tap home. With the points all but safe, Wealdstone then gifted Stockport and Crankshaw the opportunity to put the game to bed. Crankshaw completing his hat-trick to make the points safe and cap off a fine week for the club. Heading into the final few minutes of the 90, Era Jackson tried his luck from distance. His shot somehow missed by Ben Hinchcliffe in the Stockport goal. There was an approach from a Football League club to speak to Woking boss Alan Dowson during the week, but he says he's happy where he is, and clearly that news was well received by the players. Joe McNerney finding the far corner with less than 2 minutes played. But Barnet are in decent form themselves. Adam Marriott completely unmarked from a corner, making no mistake with the header. Barnet have lost just 2 of the 9 games that Dean Brennan's been in charge, and is surely a contender for the job permanently. Mitch Brundle's free kick causing all kinds of confusion. Marriott in the right place to prod home and continue the good form.
Yeah, a lot of character, a lot of togetherness. You know, the wind's swirling, the weather conditions in the UK at the minute ain't great, so we have to come here and fight, stick together, and that's what we did, and I'm delighted with the victory. It's a great way to win a football match in the 90th minute as well, so it's a fantastic victory for us.
Yes, another excellent win for Barnet, coming from behind to do so at Woking. But let's start with Stockport, because Dave Challoner has certainly got them motoring since he's taken the reins.
He most definitely has, and we didn't expect anything less. You know, listen, he got promoted with Hartlepool last season. He knows he's got the formula to get promoted out of this league, and you know he's all of a sudden transformed it into Stockport, and they're flying.
Does help, of course, when you've got an excellent squad, not least someone like Crankshaw, a league player who's got the hat-trick today.
Yeah, fantastic goals there as well. And at Wealdstone, you know, they're a resolute team as well, and they've just gone and put 4 past them. And he's certainly turned things around for them, and obviously Crankshaw scores great 3 goals there today, but it's a big win for them, and they are very much flying high.
And 2 for Marriott, for Dean Brennan. Barnet going to Woking and getting the win.
He's done brilliant, Dean, since he's gone in there. You know, he's all about, I've worked under him before, and he's all about togetherness, and you can see it there today. They get a winner in the 90th minute. Everyone's round each other, and they're doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, I think he's still officially interim manager.
Yeah, and it's an interesting one, because you look and you think, does he want to take the job permanently? Because he's doing such a good job. You know, for someone to come in now, they'd have to look and think, well, he's got only 2 defeats in his 9 games.
Yeah,
that's brilliant. You know, so for me, Barnet really should probably make him manager full time and and be done with it.
But if it ain't broke, don't Barnet it. I think you know what we mean by that. OK, before we go, quick look at the Vanarama National League table. And Chesterfield top, despite their game being postponed. Boreham Wood in a similar situation, but Halifax up to 3rd. It is very tight in that top half, as you can see. Despite the point at the other end for Dover, of course, they remain rooted to bottom spot. Kings Lynn also adrift. Southend and Maidenhead currently making up the bottom 4. Thanks, as always, to Aaron and to Scott. We'll see you at Wrexham in a fortnight for our next live game. Thanks for your company. See you next time.